Good evening, folks. Thanks for stopping by the bar. Today, we're going to be diving into our first monthly viewer video. Over 1,000 people voted in this poll, and the results were in favor of a Deku and Koichi theory. So, in spirit of the overwhelming vote, today we're going to be addressing several theories floating inside this TV here, and some of your various common theories as well. So, expect some wild and outright outlandish theories, and some that are grounded enough to be like, oh, okay, I could see that happening. And with that being said though, this video is gonna be very spoilery for anyone who's not caught up on Vigilantes or the My Hero Academia manga. And if you enjoy coming out to the bar each week, be sure to subscribe to the channel for further content. And if you want to chat with me and the rest of the bar staff during the premiere, when you hit that notification bell, make sure you change your notifications from personal to all. That way, you won't miss out on any video streams or live reactions. Also, if you want to join the bar staff and gain access to my amazing emojis and Discord, go ahead and click the join button right next to the subscribe button as well. That way, you'll be able to vote on the next viewer video. But for now, let's go inside and grab ourselves a drink, shall we? Alright, welcome to the bar, folks. So we got a bunch of theories to talk about, and I won't be trying to prove them today, but I think it's kind of like a community catharsis to kind of consolidate our wild theories. The theory that I'll be throwing into the fray is a situation in which Deku and a few others end up learning from Koichi, the vigilante from Naruhata who happens to be the main protagonist of My Hero Academia Vigilantes. If you have no idea what My Hero Academia Vigilantes is, it's a spin-off to My Hero Academia that takes place 5 years prior to the main story. I plan on doing a What is My Hero Academia Vigilantes video a little bit in the future, compiled with hopefully a timeline video, because after all this time I finally think I have a general idea as to when the events of My Hero Academia Vigilantes is actually taking place. Either way, before we jump into my theory, I'll be addressing some of my favorite subscriber theories along the way. So let's head over to the wall and get started. Okay, first things first, I want to address the theory that's been floating on my channel since my last review kind of gave people the idea that Inko and Shoko were related. The only interaction that Koichi has ever had with Deku's mom is right here in chapter 1 when he returns her cell phone and gives her directions. Now, if we were to pick apart the scene, yeah, he's sliding around all cool like, but this is the only time that he actually hides his face from somebody. That's the only piece of validity that I would say that this theory has. And if Deku and Koichi were cousins, that would mean that Hisashi and Shoko were related. And no, they are not half-brothers, people. They are most likely not related either, but holy shit, if that pans out to be true, jeez. On to subscriber theory number 2. Captain Celebrity is going to be one of those heroes that arrives in Japan to help with the villain problem. Okay, this theory I would say is very middle ground. Originally, with Cap's story, he comes to America to repair his public image after it was destroyed due to several occasions resulting in sexual misconduct. And after his stint in Japan trying to repair his image, mostly due to Makoto Tsukauchi, now Masa's sister, he heads home successfully to work on being a better father, hero, and husband. If Captain Celebrity does show up in My Hero Academia, he could act as a doorway to Koichi in various ways. People have made assumptions that Captain Celebrity will dump the kids from UA on Koichi when he realizes that he can't teach, or maybe he'll get incapacitated by a certain blood curdle villain and Koichi will have to show up to save the kids from staying in his gang. Now, personally, my 2 cents is I think that it's a heavy maybe that he even appears in the background of My Hero Academia. The USA might still need Captain Celebrity in its hero pool, and the heroes that go to Japan are more or less suicidal, let's admit it. Also, almost 5 years prior to My Hero Academia even starting, Captain Celebrity repaired his image. And in him repairing his image, it pretty much culminates in him finding out that he will never be on All Might's level. All Might pretty much lifted the Tokyo Sky Egg up with one arm and Captain Celebrity was struggling to keep it up in general. So while, yeah, his feats of strength are absolutely ridiculous, it pales in comparison to All Might. So pretty much what I'm saying is Captain Celebrity would absolutely need a reason to come to Japan to help out, other than him just wanting to come out just to help. But at this point in the story, he could be an aging hero and might possibly even be retired. I don't know, I think that it's kind of evident that the heroes that are going to be showing up to Japan to assist in this whole villain debacle are going to be ones that are looking to take down All Might and Endeavor's legacy. Which I guess bringing that up gives me the perfect opportunity to segue into subscriber theory number 3 that was formulated by the boyos over on the Discord. The theory that the people on the Discord formulated was that there's going to be violence among foreign heroes. So honestly, I'd have to agree 100% this is gonna be likely. There's over 10,000 villains on the loose in Japan. And when we think about Captain Celebrity, he came to Japan because at the time, if you could compete with All Might, you were the guy. Endeavor was the #2 hero in Japan, and was probably not the #2 hero of the world when we knew that All Might was literally the end-all be-all for heroes. So there's a sincere possibility that the heroes that might show up could be rather militant. Granted, there will be good eggs that want to genuinely help out here and there, but amongst those will be the ones craving to earn All Might's place. Over the course of the past few chapters, we've seen that Japan's heroes are dropping like flies. This leaves the door open for a bunch of foreign heroes to walk in and exercise as much force as they'd like. I mean, even if they start killing villains left and right, when we think about it, Hawks isn't being prosecuted for killing Twice because the escalation of force against Twice was that of a murderer. Look, either way, the big takeaway is that heroes shouldn't be playing judge, jury, and executioner. That's what Skeptic's video was trying to prove to everybody despite its editing. And with that being said, what's stopping the heroes from other countries from being that aggressive? Heroes have always been the good guys, and with the introduction of the Meta Liberation Army, we got our first taste of heroes that were villains behind the scenes. But I really enjoy this fan theory, and I think that of everything floating around, this one is probably the most likely. But with that theory in mind, I think it's the perfect opportunity to finally talk about my theory. Alright, so I think with the new movie saying that it's going to bring in the World Hero Association, it's a chance that year 2 for our kids at UA could be an international internship arc. UA High School is very, very hot right now, and there needs to be a massive operation to get these released villains back into jail. So yeah, instead of leaving Japan to further their education, they could start year 2 as sidekicks to the temporary agencies formed by these visiting heroes. We saw in chapter 303 that these heroes are coming, and we definitely will see them. I mean, I'm really hoping that the dude with the lightning bolt is an homage to the Flash, but I digress here. The countless heroes that operate across the world have existed for 40 years, knowing that if a world-ending threat appears, All Might's gonna be called, not them. And as of the end of All Might's reign as #1, it opens up the door to every single hero across the world and tells them, if you can come to Japan and do a good enough job, people will put you in the same conversation as All Might. So you can bet your ass that there's going to be some heroes that are going to go out of their way to get to Japan to try to prove this. But the thing is, that's a philosophy that a shitload of heroes in Japan already had, and now most of those fair weather heroes are just being weeded out. The ones left behind will be the true heroes that Stain himself would even say deserve the title of hero. My idea for the Sidekick arc can go 2 ways. 1, 4 groups of 5 with a hero from another country acting as a teacher, or 7 groups of 3 if Shinzo joins the class. My idea pod of sidekicks would be Ida, Ochako, and Deku, a group that I've just been waiting to see just finally get their team up. And the reason why I chose those 3 is I just feel like they're the most compatible with the situation to bring in the Vigilantes. Like, let's break it down a little bit. I'm saying Ochako because of a variety of things, but one would be the fact that she's definitely capable of flight, or at least we've seen that she's capable of high mobility with her wire gauntlets. 2 would be the fact that Koichi and Popstep have quirks that resemble zero gravity to a degree. Not to mention, if she meets Knuckle Duster, she's gonna absolutely ask him how to throw the hands like that. And 3, if they encounter Stain, she's like the reason Stain wants heroes dead. That meeting could help her question her true motives as a hero once again, and as well trigger PTSD of seeing her teacher Midnight die along with her sensei Ryuku getting severely injured. And if Toga ends up joining up with Stain, her arch nemesis joins the fray, giving her more than enough reason to be a part of this group. And I've referenced this before, but Ida taking on Stain is just the rematch that I've been pushing because I want it to happen so bad. I ranted about this in a completely different video, so if you want to hear more about that theory, be sure to click this card right here. But pretty much, I'm still under the assumption that if Ida finds out that Stain has been building a gang of anti-heroes that go around killing heroes, you know that he's going to insist that they focus on the apprehension of the hero killer first. This is guessing that even if Stain accepts all these villains to become his followers. As for Deku's purpose, besides being the main character of the story, well, if there's anyone Deku can learn from, it's the Vigilantes. As each quirk adds up, he's gonna need teachers that will help him master these various abilities. We saw how severe Danger Sense is, and it feels like a spike going through your head because it literally is Danger Sense caused the 4th user of One For All's head to literally crack in his final years. So when we find out the other quirks, be they mobility or not, to master Float, he's gonna have to learn from a high flyer or somebody that has good mobility mid-air. And my guess would have to be that Gran Torino probably isn't helping him out anytime soon. With that idea in mind, this could bring in Captain Celebrity and have him be the teacher for this new group of kids, or it could implement a whole new hero that Deku might not get along with. Deku usually gets his teachers to warm up relatively quickly, but what if this new hero acts like a complete shithead? Hell, maybe he gets himself killed and Koichi has to step in. I know, that one's super far-fetched, but the dynamic between Koichi and Cap was that of rivals and frenemies to start, so who's to say what could happen? It's just been a while since Deku has gotten a new mentor, and with All Might, Gran Torino, and Aizawa out of commission, unless he's gonna have some weird voices in his head training him, the position's open. And if UA manages to have classes despite the massive villain outbreak, what might play secondary to the plot is the kids at UA finding an agency to work with as sidekicks after school to help with the rampant villain problem. If this proposed sidekick arc does happen, it'll be interesting to see where the students go from here. I know personally I'd want Todoroki and Bakugo to be with Best Jeanist and Hawks, for sure. And with Lumillion back in action and acting as a huge savior during the most recent arc, who knows what's left for that character? There's so many people that now can act as mentors to our class of kids. And I feel like with a lot of mutual villains being released, right now is the optimal time for Koichi to make his appearance and act as a mentor to Deku. Everybody that's invested in My Hero Academia Vigilantes has been hyping up the moment that these two protagonists finally meet. I mean, think about it. Right now in the manga, Jujutsu Kaisen is having one hell of a fight between its two main protagonists of its series. So maybe at first, Deku tries to apprehend Koichi for taking down villains and escaping from the scene. It would be pretty funny to see Deku and Koichi fight at first only to become allies. All in all, I know that we're cherry picking theories here, and at this point we're just trying to weasel in the Vigilantes at any point. But there's gonna be a certain point in the story where they ignore Koichi's existence entirely, or they just bring him into the fold. I personally hope it's the latter of the two, because the story in my opinion would totally suffer from not using all of its available characters, even if it's only for one arc. But if you have any idea as to how Deku and Koichi will finally meet, be sure to leave it in the comments down below. And thanks for voting in the viewer poll. I'll be sure to do more of these in the future. But other than that, I'm gonna get out of here. Cheers.